It's a nice way to think about it, from idea to IPO. But, like, that's the history of Silicon Valley, right? That's what every founder sets out to do. Among those 11, what are you most proud of? What was the sort of steepest arc, would you say?
Ed, great to be here. We've at Notable really built our business around focusing on the founder. And I think that the primary lesson we've learned from the successes we've had is that if we serve founders really well, if we provide them with a unique experience, if we support them, because starting companies is really hard and building them even harder. And so if we focus on founders, we'll do okay. And it's worked well. It's been a winning formula for us to date.
We're showing some of the portfolio companies, like these are long-standing, well-known names, not just amongst the venture community, but around the world now, right, because of their customer base. But what's happening right now in founding companies and backing at the earlier stages is not just AI, but particularly everything to do with agentic and that infrastructure layer. What are you doing in that space?
Yeah, so we are overweight and focused on software infrastructure, on cloud infrastructure, precisely for this reason. We're seeing agents as the next wave of AI really having a huge impact on companies large and small in all industries across every geo right now. Agents are coming into companies, and these are non-humans who are helping with building software. They're helping with other functions like sales, like customer support and success. They're even getting into things like helping with security, helping with HR and finance. So it's really throughout organizations that we're seeing agents play a major role. And agents, just like humans, need infrastructure. Human beings as employees need infrastructure to be successful. So do agents. They need to be secured. They need to be monitored. You need to make sure that they're actually doing what you want them to do. So that's where we're focusing, because the opportunity is quite large, and we're seeing quite a bit of acceleration for our companies focused in this area.
Glenn, many will know you, but Notable Capital, the name, is still relatively new, born about a year ago after you split GGV between the Asia part of the business focus and then what you're doing now, looking at US, Israel, Latin America, Europe. Where is the hive of activity for you right now? Because it feels as though the US just dominates from a generative AI perspective.
Yeah, so AI is central to just about every investment we're making these days, Caroline. But I would say that while Silicon Valley is the center of the universe as it relates to innovation, particularly around AI, there are a whole web of global founders, like you say, folks in Israel, folks in Europe, folks in Latin America. What binds them to us and what gets them excited, I think, about working with Notable is that we've really built our business around helping them build global companies. And if you want to build a global technology company, you've got to start in the U.S. So we're helping entrepreneurs, whether they're in the U.S. as U.S. citizens or immigrants, first generation, folks outside the U.S., all building for the U.S. market. They may be building their products, engineering, product, and staffing those functions outside the U.S. But when it comes to go to market, they're focused on building in the U.S. And that's where Notable has really tried to distance ourselves from the field. And I think we're doing a good job. How,
therefore, is the talent pool? Is that something that's keeping your founders up at night when you're thinking about the scale of immigrant talent and some of the pressure that's being put on it in the United States at the moment? Is that a worry, or can you keep the bases more geographically split?
I think that the talent market today in technology is complex. What you're seeing with agents is agents are taking jobs, in entry-level areas. But I think the opportunity for folks earlier in their careers and recent graduates is to embrace and extend with AI and become really strong users and proponents of technologies like that. They can move faster. They can actually be very successful as employees in technology companies, and that's what we're seeing. There's really a lot of expertise, certainly in the Bay Area, but expertise is diffusing rapidly, and I think the next set of real innovative companies in AI over the coming years will be global in nature.